Hey guys, welcome to my kitchen. Bienvenidos a mi cocina. Today I'm bringing you a delicious dessert called Pudín y pan con guayaba y queso, which is bread pudding with guava and cream cheese pieces. So let's get started. Before we get started, if you want to see more recipes like this, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my recipes. So we're going to start off with my vanilla. This is one of the ingredients that I'm so proud of because I made my own vanilla. And if you want to know how to make this, I'll leave a link in the comment section and inside the description section. I'm just going to open it up so you can see how it looks. Oh my goodness, I wish you guys could smell this. It is heaven. It is the most amazing smell in the whole world. Well, anyway, if you want to know how to make this, I'll leave a link in the comment section and in the description section. For the ingredients, I'm using 10 slices of bread, 4 eggs, 1 can of evaporated milk, 1 can of condensed milk, 1 teaspoon of homemade vanilla and vanilla beans. I'm using 3 tablespoons of butter or a quarter cup of butter, a half a teaspoon of cinnamon powder, a quarter of the guava paste, and a quarter of cream cheese. For the caramel sauce, I'm using 1 cup of sugar and 3 tablespoons of water. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of the evaporated milk that's left over in the can into the can of condensed milk so I can loosen up the condensed milk a little bit, and I'm going to add that into my eggs, and I'm going to stir everything together, and then I'm going to add in 3 tablespoons of butter, melted butter, and a half a teaspoon of cinnamon powder. Next, I'm adding 1 teaspoon of homemade vanilla along with the vanilla beans, and I'm going to squeeze out all of this delicious yumminess from the vanilla pod. I'll leave a link below just in case you're interested in making your own homemade vanilla. Now we're going to stir this together for a few seconds, and then we're going to add in our bread. And we're going to let the bread soak into all of this deliciousness for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to come back. When you're making this recipe, you can use any type of bread. Sometimes I use Cuban bread, Italian bread. It really doesn't matter. You can use hamburger bread. So it doesn't really matter what type of bread you're using. While we're waiting for all of the flavors to incorporate, we're going to start making our caramel sauce. To this part, I'm adding 1 cup of sugar and 3 tablespoons of water. We're not going to stir this. We're going to shake the pot just a little bit to mix the sugar and the water together. And we're going to let this cook until it turns into a golden brown caramel sauce. As you can see, the sugar is turning to a golden caramel color, and we just want it to get a little darker but not burnt, so be careful with your flame and don't walk away from the stove when you're making it. So this is the perfect color, and I'm gonna go over to my baking dish and pour this into the baking dish. Now I'm gonna pour in my caramel sauce to my baking dish. Some people like to butter the edges of their baking pan. I don't butter the edges, and the bread pudding comes out perfectly fine. So I'm going to skip that. But now I'm just going to scrape all of this deliciousness into my baking dish. I don't want to leave anything out. So now we're going to swirl the caramel around the edges of the baking dish. And then we're going to let this sit for about 10 minutes until it hardens. And then we're going to add in our bread pudding mixture. So it's been 10 minutes, and now I'm going to add in my bread pudding mixture. And I'm going to add in the guava pieces and the cream cheese pieces also. When you're adding your cream cheese and your guava pieces in. It doesn't matter what size they are. I just prefer to slice them in little slices. You can dice them up. You can scoop out the cream cheese if you want to and spoon it in. It doesn't matter. One thing I love about bread pudding is that you can add whatever you want to. Sometimes I add raisins to this. You can also add brandy to it or rum. Is brandy rum? I don't drink, so I don't really know. But you can add alcohol to this and give it a distinct flavor. Okay, so that's all I'm going to add to this. If you're going to be making this and you're using a round mold, if you prefer to add more guava and cream cheese, go right ahead. So I'm just pushing down the guava paste and the cream cheese so it can be in the middle of the bread pudding. And I have my oven preheating from earlier at 350 degrees. So once I finish this, then I'm going to cover this up with aluminum foil. Next, we're going to add this to a baking tray, and we're going to add water to it to create a baño Maria or a water bath so that the bread pudding doesn't burn at the bottom or cook too fast. When you add the water, you want to add it halfway up your baking dish because you don't want to add too much because then it'll start to boil and then it'll boil into the bread pudding. So I have my oven already preheated. We're going to bake this at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's been an hour and 15 minutes, and I'm going to check the bread pudding to see if it's ready. And from the looks of it, it's still kind of wet. So I'm going to put it back in the oven and cook it for about, bake it for about 15 more minutes to see if it's ready. Okay, so it looks ready because it looks drier. I'm going to use a toothpick to see if the inside is wet or dry. And it looks pretty dry to me, so it looks like it's ready. So I'm going to take this out of the oven. Okay, so here is my delicious bread pudding. It's not ready yet because I needed to sit for about at least 1 hour before I even cut it. Okay, so the moment has arrived and we are going to flip our bread pudding. So I'm putting a plate over it, and you want a plate big enough so that when you flip it, it doesn't spill all over the place. And now for the unveil. And here is what I've been waiting for all day. My delicious pudding de pan con guayaba y queso crema. This recipe right here is so comforting. It reminds me of childhood. And I am just going to drizzle a little bit of the caramel sauce over it and enjoy it. So I hope you guys try this recipe, but I just want to show you the texture of how delicious this bread pudding is before I go. So look at how soft it is, and look at how creamy it is. Let me just show you another piece. I ate that too fast. Sorry. And this is just delicious. Look at all of the cream cheese and the melted guava. Just heaven in your mouth. Okay, guys. Well, anyway, on that note, I am going to have a sip of my coffee here, and I am going to see you guys later. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.